What is going on YouTube? Another video coming at you from the Washington Command Post. This is JD, and we're going to dive into this. So, yesterday, big day in the sports world. Kinda, I guess. Washington Commanders, well, they're getting accused of, whiffing on a pick. Russell Wilson got traded to the Broncos. And you'd think the freaking sky was falling on Washington fans. So I'm going to talk about that real quick. The stuff I saw on Twitter is just the emotion that has come over people is kind of insane a little bit. Russell got basically traded by the Broncos. What they got 2 first rounders, 2 second rounders, and I think it was 3 players: a Drew Lock, Noah Fant, and some other player. I don't remember the other player. But they gave up a decent amount for him. Would I have given up something similar? Absolutely. Nothing's off the table. So everyone's freaking out saying that he didn't want to come here. And that we're never going to get a quarterback because no one wants to come play for Washington. I don't think that's true. You got to understand that this was probably in the works. This was in the works for weeks. I don't think Russ was opposed to playing for Washington. I just think Russ, because of other circumstances in his life, like his wife, their careers, he's got a life on the West Coast, his family's out there, he would rather stay closer to the West Coast. And Denver was the best option for that. If you look at all the other teams out in the West, there's not a lot of teams out there he can get traded to. Because other teams that have quarterbacks. Like, look at his own division. He got traded to a division where Derek Carr, Patrick Mahomes, and Justin Herbert are the 3 quarterbacks he's playing against. Okay, those are the Western teams. It's the Western Conference, the AFC West. He was in the NFC West, where he ain't gonna get traded to any of those. So he only had a couple options, and the main option was Denver, to stay anywhere near the West Coast. Anywhere else he'd have gone, maybe New Orleans. They can't afford him though. It's kind of close, I guess, but it'd have to be middle of the country. And I don't think he wanted to do that. I think a lot of this has been in the works for a couple, maybe a month, but a couple weeks for sure. So I do think there's a huge consensus that everyone thinks that no one wants to come and play here. That's not true. We got players last year in free agency to come here and play that were big name free agents. We made shots at we took shots at other players. We took shots at Stafford. Now here's where I'm gonna start being doom and gloom. Is Washington Riverboat Ron needs to be a lot more Riverboat Ron and a lot less of conservative a card counting Ron. So he has this reputation of being Riverboat Ron because he rolls the dice on the field. But Ron actually does not roll the dice off the field very much. He takes calculated moves. He gets guys in free agency on the cheap and then gets the most out of them. Those are calculated moves. There's no risk in that. J.D. McKids, look at the first year he was here. Everyone we had gotten that year panned out to be fantastic. Wes Schweitzer, for example. That's one. Wes Schweitzer. Who else? J.D. McKissick. Okay. There's a lot of guys on the defense. I just can't think of any right now. Daryl Rogers was decent. I just can't think of him off the top of my head. He had a lot of free. Kendall Fuller was an example. I know there's more. Who was the guy that played for? He played for Philly, and then he went to Denver. Not Devin McCourty. I can't think of his name. He's a cornerback. I cannot think of his name right now. But Ron has done a great job of getting players that are kind of on the cheap or on 1-year deals and getting the most out of them. Damn, that's going to eat my brain up if I don't figure out this guy's name. He played for the Eagles. I think he played for the Bills, and now he plays for the... I can't think of his name. I'm not going to worry too much about it. It'll eat my brain up later, but I need to get through this video. Make sure this doesn't time out. Good. So, Ron is really... I like to call him card counting Ron. He's very calculated. He picks his spots. And he's, for the most part, the last few years, he's gotten decent players. If you look at what him signing Jackson last year and Samuel, both of them, according to over the cap and free agent track, a couple websites, he got them for below their actual market value last year. Like I think Curtis Samuel was like $15+ million is what he was worth, and he got him like $12 million a year. Same with Jackson. So there's definitely some card counting and some calculated maneuvers going on by Ron Rivera. Okay. So I think Ron needs to start rolling the dice more. Like last year, we got outbid for Stafford. We offered a first and a third. Okay. That's it. Why didn't we offer 2 firsts and a third or 3 firsts and a third to get a franchise quarterback? There is no price. You can't put a price tag on getting a franchise quarterback. DeShaun Watson has to be the number one DeShaun Watson or bust option for Washington right now. Okay? He has to be. I mean, if we get someone else like Mitch Trubisky for a year and draft someone, I don't think Ron wants to play this game where he has to develop a quarterback. I really don't think Ron wants to do that. I think if he has to, he will, and I think that's what it could come to if he doesn't do this. But I don't think Ron wants to develop a quarterback. I think what Ron wants to do, he wants to get a quarterback that he can just drop in and has veteran, is good, yada, yada, yada. And honestly, he needs to just go all in and I don't care what, give up an entire draft plus 3 picks and get DeShaun Watson over to Washington. And I'm going to be honest, I don't care about, I've said it before, I don't care about his legal issues. Okay? And it's not that I don't care about what he may or may not have done. Okay? If he has done what he's done, he deserves to be punished for it. And he deserves to be punished to the full extent of the law. Okay? But everyone's saying like he might be suspended. Who cares? Okay? The way the NFL contracts work is you have to actually play for your contracts to count. He has a lot of years on his contract. I'm pretty sure he got a 5-year extension a couple years ago. So he's got at least 5. I think he's got a good 4 or 5 years. We're going to get out of DeShaun Watson. So let's say we trade for him today. Today we trade for him, and the league decides to spend him for a year. Who the hell cares? In a year, we have a franchise quarterback. We don't have to worry about getting another quarterback. We can focus on building the team around him. Okay? That's what we do. That's all we have to do. That's what people don't understand. And people are like, oh, he might be suspended. So what? Let's just say he's suspended for a year. Would you take 1 year suspended for the next 10 years of having DeShaun Watson getting 30+ touchdowns a season, 4,000+ passing yards, and we win 10+ games a year because we have a franchise quarterback? Yeah, you would. It's no different than last year. Taylor, like he was suspended last year. And it's Taylor, like we already got him. He was suspended last year. We played Taylor Heineke. And now this year we have him. Would you be upset? No, you wouldn't. Okay? Are you going to be upset for 1 year? Sure. And everyone's like, well, with the things going on with the team. Listen, like I said, I've said it before. DeShaun Watson is the nuclear option. He is the best of every world that we want to have when it comes to a quarterback. Okay? There's not a discussion on that. There's not another option out there better. Russell Wilson might have been a better option right now, but he wouldn't have been a better option in 5 years. Okay? DeShaun Watson is 26 years old. That means he can play. If he plays for 10 years, he still is going to have 5 years left to be able to play at a reasonably high level, unless he diminishes so bad athletically, and he was relying only on his. I don't think that's the case. I think DeShaun Watson's all around. He's a good quarterback and he's athletic. It has nothing to. I don't think he's just athletic. Okay, this is a different situation. Look at it this way. Last year, the 49ers traded 3 firsts and a third for Trey Lance, an unproven commodity, an unproven player in the NFL. Unproven. He played shit, I'll say it, shit talent in college. And I'm going to be adamant about that because I've been on this horse since he's been hyped up. Overhyped, I should say, is a better way of putting it. He was overhyped. And the 49ers traded away 3 first-round picks to get him. 3 first-round picks and a third. An unproven commodity. Washington's going to have to give up a lot. And a lot of people are going to be uncomfortable. It should make you uncomfortable. The Washington football team should give up an uncomfortable amount of assets and players and whatever you want to call it to get their guy. That needs to be what happens with Washington. It needs to be literally an uncomfortable amount of assets to get this guy, for them to have a success, to be successful in the acquisition of DeShaun Watson. If it's 4 first rounders, so be it. If it's 5 first rounders, so be it. Okay, I would make a contention that Washington gets the first rounder back if he's suspended for a year. But other than that, all in. All in. Give up everything you have to get him. I don't care if it's 3 firsts and 3 players. Do it. Jamin Davis, Cameron Curl, I don't care. Do what you have to do to get this guy. He is our best option at having the quarterback position solidified for the next 15 years. Okay? Imagine if we could just talk about football and the things around DeShaun Watson and the coaching. Okay? A good quarterback is going to expose whether Ron is a good coach or not. Right now, Ron, okay, I think Ron's a decent coach. I think he's a pretty good coach. But let's just say this. Right now, Ron has a built-in excuse all the time that he doesn't have a quarterback. When he loses and he goes 7-11 or 7-10 or whatever, he has the built-in excuse. We don't have a franchise quarterback. Last year, he had a built-in excuse. We had 11 losses, 10 losses, 7 wins. And why? We had a backup quarterback playing. We didn't have our plan A, which I don't think Fitzpatrick was a good plan A, but it was our plan A. So let's plug in DeShaun Watson right now onto that team and replay that season. We win at least 4 more games. Okay? Or if we don't win and we still go 7-10, there's something going on with coaching. I think the offensive coordinator is bad, and he can hide behind the fact that Taylor Heineke is basically a rookie. Okay? And I don't think Ron wants to go through that. He's already trying to coach up Taylor Heineke. And as much as I like Taylor Heineke, I think he has a lot of gumption. I think he'd be a great backup. I don't think Ron wants to go through that again and again and again, having to coach up a young player. I don't think he wants to do that. I think Ron Rivera wants to be in a situation where he can just coach football and not have to worry about training and training up a quarterback. He wants a veteran for a reason. DeShaun Watson is a veteran. Okay? I'm telling you, Friday is a big day for Washington. Friday is a big day because that's when DeShaun Watson's legal case kind of comes to fruition. If there's no charges actually pressed and it's all civil suits, Washington needs to trade that day. Call them up, say, what do you want? What do you want? Here's this, this, and this, and here's also this, this, and this, and here's this. Take that. We'll take DeShaun Watson. You guys can have good luck with your rebuild. Good luck with Davis Mills or whatever his name is. Let's do this. That's what Washington needs to do. Making an offer they can't say no to. Don't be like, oh, here's 3 firsts. What else? Do you guys have a counter offer? No. Here's 3 firsts. Here's Drawn Payne. Here's a second next year as well. Here's a third the year after that. And here's I don't know, whatever other asset you want. Logan Thomas, I don't care. Okay? Give them all the assets they need to rebuild their team or whatever, and let's take DeShaun Watson and let's go and win this division. DeShaun Watson plugged into our team right now, the best quarterback in the division. If anyone tries to argue with me that Dak Prescott's better than him, if you were in front of me, I'd smack you. Dak Prescott is not better than DeShaun Watson. Not better than DeShaun Watson at all. Not even close. Okay? Dak Prescott's good. I think actually I'll phrase this. DeShaun Watson has had very minimal talent around him consistently throughout his career. He had DeAndre Hopkins, who was good, but he has not consistently had great talent around him. He hasn't had a great running game around him. He hasn't had a great offensive line around him. He's had a pretty good defense some years, but he has not had a good team around him for the most part. Okay? Going to our team, this would be his best offensive line he's ever played with. Okay? He'd have a solid running game with J.D. McKissick and Antonio Gibson. He'd have great weapons on our receiving core with Curtis Samuel. I keep saying Curtis Martin. One of my favorite running backs of all time, by the way, Curtis Martin. But Curtis Samuel, you got Terry McLaurin, you got our other assets, Yami Brown. He might unlock Yami Brown, for God's sakes. Okay? There's a lot of different things that he's going to do with this offense that other players that the options we have now just can't do. Okay? I love Taylor Heineke, but there's just some things he just can't do. Okay? I think our offensive coordinator sucks too. So our offense is the same kind of production with the same offensive coordinator. We can all agree that it's probably the offensive coordinator then, right? Okay, we all agree on that. I don't like him, and everyone says, like, oh, he's great. It's just Taylor Heineke can't execute the offense properly. I'm like, I don't agree with that. But that's a different video for another day. to reiterate, and I've kind of mumbled on for 15 minutes and rambled on, Washington needs to go all in, balls deep, whatever you want to call it, whatever analogy, whatever verbiage you want to use, okay, on this. You need to go all in on this now. Don't wait. Don't sit back and play the waiting game. Riverboat Ron, roll the dice, and go for it. The worst case scenario is they say no. Okay, that's the worst case scenario is they say no, and we have to develop a quarterback, which it's not the end of the world. Okay, but if you want to fix this now and you don't want any more excuses and you don't want to drag this out for 3 more years, you go all in, trade whatever it takes to get DeShaun Watson. Whatever it takes. Okay, I'm adamant about this. This has to happen. If we do not get DeShaun Watson this offseason is a complete and utter failure. Okay? There's literally 2 teams. You have to outbid your old team for him. You're going to let them outbid you. You're going to let them out whatever you to get DeShaun Watson in the burgundy and gold. Don't let this happen, Ron. This is on you. This is on, I say it's on Ron. Martin Herney, I think, might actually make these decisions when it comes to some trades and stuff like that. This is on Ron. He has to say, give whatever you have. I would say 2 players you don't give up. That's Chase Young. He's a benchmark of our Jonathan Allen and Chase Young will probably be 2 players I wouldn't give up on the defense. And then 1 player on offense, Terry McLaurin. And then everyone else is completely eligible. They want a left tackle. Hey, here's a left tackle. They want a tight end. Hey, Logan Thomas, here you go. Okay, he's got 3 years on his deal. Have fun with him. We'll save some of our cap space. Hey, you want to take Landon Collins? Here you go. There you go, Landon Collins, right here. Have at it. Okay? That's what Washington has to do. Don't be weary on hanging on to assets. Get this guy in our building. Get him in the burgundy and gold. Let's get this done, and we can focus on the rest of the football team. This is a force multiplier. I've said it before. Quarterback is a force multiplier. No other position in football will make everyone else that much better. Okay? Sometimes you have an elite player like J.J. Watt because he takes so much attention, or an Aaron Darnold. He makes other players better because they get one-on-ones, and they can win those one-on-one matchups here and there. And he's so good he requires a double team. But quarterback's different. Quarterback is going to immediately make the offensive line better because teams aren't going to blitz him because he'll burn them. He'll either run away from the blitz and run for yards, or he'll throw the ball, get it out of his hand immediately because he's got good at reading blitzes. He immediately makes our running game better because teams aren't going to cheat up on the running game and force him to throw the football like they are Taylor Heineke. Okay? Our running game gets significantly better. We have the option for RPOs better now. Okay? The passing game gets better. Because with the passing game better, they got to play over the top because he can throw the ball deep. Taylor Heineke didn't have that strong an arm. So they have to play deeper because he can throw over the top of a defense. Taylor Heineke couldn't. He would always underthrow, or he had to throw it early before the defense could get there to cover it, basically. Okay? There's a lot of things that DeShaun Watson does immediately to make our entire offense better. Every player gets better with DeShaun Watson on. Gibson, better. McKissick, better. Our offensive line, better. Makes their job easier. Okay? McLaurin, better. Yami Brown, better. Curtis Samuel, better. So I don't want to hear the excuses, and we don't need the guy. I don't care what the guy's done in the past. We'll get over those things, and we'll move on to bigger and better things, and we'll grow as a franchise, and he'll grow as a person, and we'll grow together. And it'll be a joint unification of growth amongst our franchise and the past we've had and his transgressions. Okay? That's the video I'm going to have. I don't want to go on any longer. It's been almost 20 minutes. So I want to thank everyone for watching. This is the Washington the Washington Command Post, and this is Commander J Plank. And follow me on Twitter, Commander J Plank. All right, thank you. Bye.